usas no break. Hosta mefta cinco basta. Hosta mefta juvre. Rishi labir groove snores lagil kor. Rishi labir usas nos dovre. Hosta mefta cinco basta. Hosta mefta juvre. Rishi labir groove snores lagil kor. Rishi labir usas nos norbrek.
Yazor, why yazor, go, if not.
Zipa puptecano solo, pușticane uno, zipa blufa torpos de vei. Zumba cojdonisi nisi, rista music roj de play. Zica kumba jumba noro, kumba jumba hero, kumba jumba opposite way.
Yeah.
Hosta mefta cinco basta. Hosta mefta juvrek. Rishi labir proof snores lajekor. Rishi labir usa snor brek. Hosta mefta sin.
Live long and prosper. And welcome, everyone, to yet another exciting mission aboard the USS Noteworthy. My name is Philip, and I am Starfleet Command, because damn me if I'm calling myself the Game Master in a heavily themed game such as a Star Trek Adventures game. I really, again, especially since we've really had no, official connection or sponsorship through Modifius, I think that's a terrible thing, not to name. You gotta name your thing something from the thing, you know what I mean? The person running the game has to be some connection. So,
I agree.
I am Starfleet Command.
I do like Admiral Make-Believe by Zane Swords.
Zane Swords said that,
God,
whoever that is.
Zane Swords said it, then you know the remark was certainly cutting. My name's Philip.
You could say
me,
some of them would be to the point.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Depends. And others of them, Epe. So, joining me are our wonderful players. Say, beam me up, players.
Beam me up, players.
Beam me up,
Beam
players.
up, players.
Well, this is so exciting. It has been so long since we've done a Star Trek game. We actually wound up not doing one of our typical midweek ones just because the week of blood that took over so much. Also, I have to say it's very weird to have done 7 intensive days of Blood from a Stone and to now be taking a Friday off from it, when so much was going on. So the point is, we have an embarrassment of fun stuff, and it's exciting. We do not have quite as much of a crew here as we often do on Friday nights, but we're still going to have what I deem what I'm sure is going to be a marquee type episode.
Well, Philip, if an episode this light and attendance had taken place last week, you might have called it a skeleton crew.
Wow.
Good night, everyone.
I probably
Happy Halloween.
All joking aside, Halloween's over. The dread clock sits at 11, but Halloween is over. Let's actually talk for a moment. Last month, is it kind of crazy to imagine that 1 month ago is when you guys, the old Noteworthy was destroyed and we got this new one? Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. That was a month ago. So in that time, since the sort of ship changed hands, Captain Winter became Commodore Winter, and then was promoted all the way out of getting to be aboard a ship and is now stuck on Earth. Grace Maxwell is now your captain. Your first officer is the stern and terse Lucian Whitney, Commander Whitney. Dr. Tata is on the team. Of course, Grimm and Vial and Dobbs, as well as the three of you who are here. Counselor Quincy Vale, Lieutenant Commander Simon Giles, and Lieutenant Commander Senek are all present. But things we had a couple Senek episodes a couple weeks back, and one was called The Prisoner, and that ended with more of whoa, just kind of ending on these crazy cliffhangers at the time. What are we? Deep Space Nine?
I wish. I wish we were.
I feel like, now I'm insulted. That's what we're trying to be.
Well, no, this is good. This is fine.
It's still season 1.
I love it.
It's still season 1.
And you know what? It's already got its legs. So that's more than I could ever ask for
Space
a
legs.
Star Trek.
For a Star Trek. I finished Deep Space Nine. It It's very good. Finished my rewatch of it a couple weeks ago. Then I finished Lower Decks season 3 that ended last week, and I'm in a Lower Decks Admiral's costume. It's good stuff. And now I'm watching Prodigy.
Later, baby. Say
Amen.
it.
Is it catch ya or see ya?
It's catch ya.
Catch you later, baby.
My favorite line.
Best
Thank
line
you.
of all time.
Oh man. I just think my favorite thing about Deep Space Nine is how damn much Captain Sisko kisses his son in the weirdest ways possible.
It's not weird.
Cute dad smooch.
But,
I don't know.
But they're always little stolen ones. They're always these real little like right.
It's weird. We can say it's weird.
I don't think it's weird. But I grew up in a Hispanic family. We kiss everyone.
Everyone's smooching
All the
all over
time.
the place. Heard it here first. Everyone smooches in Hispanic families.
Maybe not in this economy, though. Nobody
Economy?
touched me. This general environment.
So, this has been it's been a great time of Star Trek year, and now I'm watching Prodigy, and that's a fun kind of show. It's very different, but it looks really cool, and has some fun stuff in it. In any case, Star Trek. In our last episode, we ended with Lieutenant Commander Sennek choosing to sort of engage in a battle of mental power with the telepathic savant Penelope Bonaventura, a turncoat former Federation officer who had previously kind of ensorcelled the Noteworthy crew by making them think there was an admiral who wasn't there, an Admiral Paulson. Sennek has now seemingly found Admiral Paulson upon engaging in a sort of a mind meld with her, and he then mind melded with Senator Paulson within the mind meld. And as things continued, are you actually asking what ensorcelled means?
I've never heard that word.
Ensorcelled.
And by that, do you mean another word that
No,
I would
here.
understand?
Philip's word of the day.
Apparently that is my word of the day. Here you go.
Oh,
it's like
Kern 3 spelled it right.
It's
What
like-
does it mean?
it's like you've
Like
been
incensed?
no, like sorcery, like you've been bewitched.
You've been ensorcelled.
That sounds cuter than like maniacal. I like it. I'm
It
sorry.
seems wily with a nefarious tilt to
We
it.
should have like a rainbow, like word of the day.
Word of the day: Plinth, OG, and sorcelled. That's my word of the day calendar.
Also, copse. A copse of trees. Had never heard that.
Oh, really?
ACAB, baby.
That one.
Yep, that's true. I've never seen a good copse of trees. They're just all rotten and gross.
All cops and trees are bastards.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Well, what was I talking about?
Who
the
knows?
space.
Oh yes, the point is, Sennek is trapped within his own mind, though they delivered Penelope Bonaventura to Cold Station 12. When Sennek came back, he grinned. Basically, the way you know something was up is I was speaking for Sennek and Dan wasn't. I just started talking and Dan couldn't talk because Sennek was taken over by the lady's brain. So the
I
point is,
understand what's going on.
Sennek is not in Sennek's mind, but the crew are unaware of that, at least for now. So, with that sort of disquieting ensorcellement hanging over things, I don't know, does anybody else have any other questions about what the hell this show's about or happening here? I know it was a month ago.
No.
This is also the one where, because it is Friday, the ad breaks are going to hit you. We may have a couple surprises about the ad breaks this time. Don't you guys worry. So
I have a question. How does warp work?
how does warp work?
We don't
Okay.
have time for that.
A warp field is basically the whole point of warp is that well, first of all, did you know that it was time warp originally? In the original pilot, they refer to it as time warp factor.
I did not know that.
He says it in the original pilot from the cage where they use it. He goes like, stay in a course, time warp factor, time wap forkter. Ooh.
Time walk. Yes.
Let's do the time warp again. Am I right?
But yeah, so basically the idea of warp I mean, I don't think they've gone into the deepest of detail of it, but I think the idea is that you pull yourself into like a separate you warp space around you so that you travel faster than you otherwise could. You travel faster than light by warping space around you. Because also, impulse doesn't get you to the speed of light. Impulse only gets you up to the point where, like, relativity would start really messing with things. I remember reading about that. Because...
I heard that... Oh, go ahead. I had another question.
No, because this is science fiction, not that science fantasy garbage. Because warp makes sense, and hyperspace does not. That's the rules. I'm sorry, go ahead, Zane.
I don't even remember if we talked about this last time, but in the holodeck, what happens to the emissions? What happens to the stuff? Does somebody clean it up?
What you're saying. It's basically the holodeck is utilizing transporter technology, holographic projections, and replicator technology. How when they finish eating food, they take their dishes to the replicator and put them back in, and they get returned into matter. So that's what it is. Whatever you put out,
whatever you leave there,
however you relieve yourself in the holodeck, that just gets sucked into the ship like it would anywhere else in the ship. Provided you were to.
How does it differentiate between saliva in your mouth?
Stop.
And you know what I mean?
Like saliva that you put in someone else's mouth.
I think I was trying to kind of get through that, but I think we're just going to go ahead and play because Lauren has a face right now.
Well, I usually do have a face, but
that's true. The one time you didn't have a face was the worst dream I ever had. But it was nice that you were being so quiet.
I'd like to stop learning now.
I didn't come here to be abused or roasted. Came here to play a nice little game.
Well, all right. On that note, let's just play this game. We're going to go to black like we do, and then we'll come up for the teaser. Okay. So, everyone, get ready for episode 1.12, or season 1, episode 12 of the USS Noteworthy. Captain's log, stardate 49669.4. After transporting Bonaventura to Cold Station 12, an odd disquiet has settled over the ship. Fortunately, there's a lot to distract us from these uneasy feelings as we prepare to host our next conference. So, we'll say, let me pick 3 members of the crew at random. Vale, Senec, and Giles. Wait. Vale and Giles. The 2 of you are in the sort of conference center, which is this part. So as we zoom in on the tall, crazy conference center in the middle of this Talleyrand class vessel, you were here sort of overseeing various preparations for a let's roll with what we just had, for a warp field theory conference that is being held aboard the ship. Numerous other vessels are sort of coming, either docking or sort of staying nearby. At this point, the holographic goblin events coordinator Kishia is sort of wandering around, speaking specifically to you, Simon Giles, because you are, because you are the engineering chief, but she's also kind of talking to Vale, and she's saying,
So, I just want to make sure that we understand how many tours can we have, kind of basically an open door policy of just going into engineering and letting everyone at the conference come and look at our warp engine in operation?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be possible. I mean, there's a lot of sensitive equipment in there, and I mean, isn't there another way we could do this?
I mean, All I know is I am supposed to, as you understand, as a holographic sort of events coordinator and hospitality staff member, my primary goal is to make sure that our guests are having the best time as possible, as that will reflect best on the crew, my captain, and the Federation.
Yeah, so why don't you just get them a bounce house or something? I mean, they don't need to go see engineering.
Isn't there anything you can show them that will... Isn't there anything we can do to entertain them? And at this point, Simon Giles, I would like for you to make a warp field dynamics roll, which is one of your focuses, and you can use your... let's use reason and engineering for this. So it's a difficulty 0. You're just trying to put a little bit of sweet momentum into this thing. So make a roll for warp field dynamics, reason plus engineering. Under 16 gets you 1. Under 4 gets you 2.
I got a 9 and a 13.
9 and 13. So 2 instantly go into our... And with the sort of, 2 successes here, you kind of think to yourself, what you could do is create a holographic reproduction of the engineering core in the middle of the... you could make one that was like several stories tall so that people could look at it from different levels and like get like a cross-section view.
Yeah, why don't I just make a holographic representation? I'll program something, and that should be fine.
Hey, Lieutenant Commander, I'm I don't mind holographic things. Do you get it? Because I'm one.
Yep, got that.
Can I help?
And Commander, I'm perfectly adept at programming holograms as well if you need any help.
Oh, you guys can
As
do it
you know.
together like a little date.
Oh, no. It would not be a date.
No,
But he's desperate for dates. He's the one who made me do all of those speed dating things a couple weeks ago. Oh yeah, sorry Zane, you weren't here, but Simon Giles had this very holographic goblin. Because the hospitality staff is all holographic goblins. You might not have known that since you weren't here for our last
Did not know.
thing. So yeah, basically you have these holographic goblins because they wanted Grim to feel sort of less alone. I don't know. Anyway, Kishi is the events coordinator, and she's in a previous B story, Giles suggested she do speed dating, and it was a disaster.
Yeah, we're not talking about that here.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Did I just make things awkward for you two? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We're very good friends, and we would love to work on a hologram program.
In fairness
together.
to me, I wasn't actually picking up any sexual tension between you. Nothing. 0. Not that I can pick it up, but just I wasn't picking any up.
Right. Well, we're gonna go work on that. We're gonna go talk about the schematics and things like that we would need to build a successful hosting hologram program. So shall we, Simon?
We shall. And Simon walks away and then looks back at, what's the goblin's name? Or
Kishia is her name. Kishia.
just like this, like...
Oh, understood. I'll come talk about dating with them more later. I get it. Great. However, at this point, Counselor Vale, you get a
Yes.
comm. Counselor, this is Senek. I'm still not feeling myself. I think I probably should speak to you about my mental state, but I'm also worried that I should, I think it best that I be relieved of duty for a time. I'm not quite feeling myself.
I completely understand. You've been through a lot. I will inform the captain, and you take all of the time you need. We can do an assessment whenever you'd like. I can move my schedule around. It's up to you.
That's great, Counselor. Thank you so much. I'll let you know when I think maybe, yes, I should just rest now. Thank you for letting the captain know. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Cut then to Senec's quarters, where Senec sort of calms off and then goes to the computer and begins accessing various files. At which point... Right, hold on. Bum-ba-dum. Boom. Space. The final frontier. Bum-ba-shoom. Bum. Bum. These the voyages of the starship Noteworthy. Bum 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 bum. Its continuing mission: to bring together strange new cultures, to promote peace and understanding, and to spread a message of diplomacy with the Federation and beyond. Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum, bum-ba-dum, starring Valerie Darcy as Captain Grace Maxwell. Ba-ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum-ba-dum, starring A.C. Buckingham as Lieutenant Lucian Whitney. Ba-da-ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum, also starring Zane as Lieutenant Commander Simon Giles. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-ba-da-bum. Lauren as Counselor Quincy Vale. Bum, shoo, bum, ba-da-bum. Dan as Lieutenant Commander Sedek. Bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum. Beth as Dr. Tata. Ba-ba-da-ba-bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Lyle Brian Forster Tescadero as Lieutenant Marvin Dobbs. Bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum. And Murray Fortenberry as Grimm. Bum-ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum, ba-ba-da-bum, 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 ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-da-bum. Act break. Commercial number 1. Open on living room. A man is trying to watch TV.
Honey, did you take the trash out yet?
Wife getting you down. Whip pan to reveal man at Tommy Knockers. Having an amazing time. Then come to Tommy Knockers, where we have a staff who are endowed to give you a great time.
Are you gonna ask me to take the trash out too?
No way! You enjoy the burgers. We'll handle the rest. All the rest.
Man smiles. Tommy Knockers, come get knocked around. Meow. Act 1. My mind to your mind. All right, so let's say that Giles and Vale are working on their program. On your holo program of a cutaway, massive scaled cutaway of the warp core.
Looks pretty good. It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I think so. Well, I've had a lot of practice. I mean, as you know, I try to create an environment that make my patients feel super comfortable. So, yeah, I think we did a great job.
Yeah, I'm surprised how talented you are at programming within the holodeck. I mean, that takes some real skill, counseling.
Thanks. I actually did my dissertation on this and published it, and am pretty known in the psychological community for therapy that takes place within a holodeck. So I had to learn the programming so I could do it myself, and here we are.
No way. You're a real Freud of the holodeck world.
Oh, thank you.
Counselor.
Freud is super outdated. We've had, but thank you. I get what you're. Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
He just looks uncomfortable.
Understood. Well, if he's looking uncomfortable, we will cut away there to Lieutenant Commander Sennick. The real Lieutenant Commander Sennick. You are with Admiral Paulson. You are standing... Actually, do me a favor. Just roll... tell me an even or odd. Just roll anything. Give me an even or odd. You'll be even, he'll be odds.
Oh, okay. I rolled an odd number.
Odd. Okay, so you are at Paulson's high school prom. You've been here a few times.
Mm-hmm.
He says, why do you think we keep coming back to this? This isn't a particularly painful memory or anything. It's just me and... I remember this night, of course, but I remember how...
Perhaps there is either a clue or a lesson you must learn here. Or we must learn, I suppose, as we are trapped here.
A lesson, all right. What we need to start dancing with all the kids?
That would seem weird and off-putting, and I believe is against social norms.
Right, but they can't even see us, right? Why is it... Look, it just... Here I am. I'm at the punch bowl. There's...
As I'm looking around, you said we've been through this memory a few times?
Sure.
Can I, look around and, are there any, patterns or things repeating that I'm recognizing?
What a good question. What a clever question. I'm going to say... I will let this be command.
Okay.
And I will let it be reason, because you are such a logically minded person. But I don't think this is metaphysics specifically. So this will be a reason and command. Now there is momentum, and you can use momentum from the group.
I'm raw dog on this one.
Okay. So 2d20. You're trying to get under 16.
I rolled a 15 and a 20.
15 and a 20.
So a success and then the complication.
All right. So with one success, though you do succeed, you begin to notice strange patterns. But yes. Now, actually, if you want to, you could spend both of these right now to avoid this complication that's about to come.
Oh man. I will. Sure. Yeah. I'll leave my friends without any resources. Yes.
You will. All right.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So, you basically cancel
Thanks.
that 20, and you can in fact tell there are some strange patterns. You are seeing a lot of memories that have been used in some of the other memories that you've seen in this guy's mind as you guys have moved through it in this strange fashion together. You look around and you can tell that though hairstyles have been swapped, you're even seeing the same faces just in this room.
It's like an old video game where they can only have so many NPCs and they're kind of just mixing and matching.
That is exactly what it is like, Lieutenant Commander.
Okay.
He's looking around and he's saying, I remember this. Yeah. I don't know what it's so important about it. I'm getting her punch. It was a fun night. It wasn't the most important night of my life. I guess it's a rite of passage. Go ahead, Sennick.
Are there... I'll look at him and I'll say, are there any... As we look at as we're looking around, are there any of these people here who... Do they all look the way that they looked? Or can you tell if there are any differences from the way they actually appeared that night? Are there anything that seems to be out of place? Anything that seems to be particularly normal?
Yes, actually. Wait, do you see that girl over there? That girl standing by the tables, not dancing?
I'll look, yeah.
I didn't know her in high school on Earth. I knew her at the academy. Have my memories been altered?
That is a possibility. I will go attempt to interact with her.
Okay. You approach this person, and she sort of looks at you.
So she sees me.
Typically they sort of don't, but I think you can like try to interact. I mean, this is a mind meld more akin to the kind you usually are in. You know that you're trapped inside of one, but this one so far has kind of behaved the way you would, so you can kind of make yourself seen if you'd like to be.
I'm trying to see if I interact with her in the way that I normally would, or if she sees me in a way that is not normal to that of a mind meld.
Understood. In that case, make an insight medicine roll.
Insight and so that's
Now you have no momentum. If you don't mind adding to threat, you could put a couple more in the pool.
I'm raw dogging it.
All right. You really like saying that, everybody.
It's an 8 and a 19.
8 and a 19. So one success. You begin sort of talking to her, and she seems for the most part to be interacting with you the way that a memory typically would. She seems to be sort of behaving like a memory, but everything about this does feel a little thin, a little chintzy, and she even looks at you and says, "Oh, hello. Having a fun time?"
Yes, quite. If you don't mind me inquiring, how did you arrive at this place?
Oh, I'm sure I just took a shuttle.
I guess so. I'm trying to ask her like questions that might reveal kind of the edges of the simulation.
I see what you're saying.
But me, Dan, can't think that.
Totally fine. Yeah. So basically, you've succeeded on an insight sort of medicine. So I would say she starts saying things that you can tell are all referring about Starfleet Academy, not about this prom. And in fact, then as you look around, it slowly becomes a party at Starfleet Academy, but not perfectly. You still see parts of the prom. In other words, this memory has either been this memory is broken. You're now realizing most of this guy's brain is broken and jumbled up. We'll say that over the course of a scene.
Great, yeah.
So you can tell that things are causing trouble, but you then once again sort of see in an open door the bridge of his old ship, the USS Landfall, his Excelsior-class vessel, where, according to one old memory, he was lifted up as those strange Lonthavir vessels appeared before him.
Right.
Go ahead and make for that one. I'll tell you what. You're going to need 2 successes on this.
Okay.
But you can make a control con on helm operations.
Okay, all right.
As you sort of watch the way that's working.
Right.
But you need 2 successes.
I'm not gonna roll you. 'Cause you're a bad boy. I'll roll you. That is a 6 and a 10.
That is 2 successes.
Successes.
With that, you can tell that elements of the memory are so wrong, the ship is not even moving the way it's supposed to. The way it's being operated, Excelsior-class ships. And, the things that in this guy's memory are being done is completely inaccurate.
Okay.
And Paulson says, "Oh God, that again! I swear I don't even remember that at all. What do you think's happened to me? What's wrong with me?"
Either again, the possible assumptions are either that you are an actual person who was abducted and whose consciousness was extracted and the pertinent information was removed such that it would be usable in the future, or you are part of some kind of other simulation from various information meant to trap. And and to trap me, or just in general to be used for basic Starfleet knowledge. And I'm
not. I mean, you've mind melded with me. You know I'm not fake. You know I'm here.
That is the current working theory.
Well, what about you? Can't we see in your mind? Doesn't this go both ways? Are we supposed to be walking around on Vulcan?
I will try and think back to I don't know, my my Vulcan high school graduation ceremony or whatever.
Okay.
See if I can conjure that up.
That arrives in much more vivid and accurate detail.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing here is, based on the successes you've already had as comparison, everything here is right. You are simply in your own memory now.
Okay.
And that definitely gives you a feeling that while, yes, you have two distinct possibilities for Paulson, getting back in your own mind sort of sharpens your clarity as you're kind of there's no uncertainty, and he's just kind of looking around saying, oh, fascinating, yes. I've only visited Vulcan a couple of times. This is,
Admiral, try and focus on the memory you have that is the strongest.
Okay, sure. I can sort of do that. So as he focuses on his sort of strongest memory, and as Senex sort of looks around kind of once again as it's probably him taking command of some ship. Maybe it'll be taking command of the landfall for the first time. I think at that time, guys, we're gonna take a little act break.
Yeah.
And a kid, this is an ad, we're in an ad break. A kid is standing on a sidewalk.
I want pizza for every meal.
Suddenly, the kid is holding a delicious Pete sandwich and standing on a skateboard.
Awesome! Pete sandwich!
The kid does a trick on the skateboard. Cut to beautiful product photography of a delicious pea sandwich coming out of the microwave, a glorious cheese pull. Another kid is sitting in a fancy restaurant with their parents. A waiter brings over escargot.
Your escargot, sir.
I don't want that. I want pizza.
The escargot turns into a Pete sandwich.
Awesome! It's a Pete sandwich. Snail you later.
The kid eats the pea sandwich as the stunned restaurant looks on. Classical music is probably going bum 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 ba bum, and then the waiter is shocked and falls backwards, but also face first into a plate of escargot at another table. Cut to more product photography, and then a bunch of kids in a classroom.
Time for a pop quiz.
No, it's time for pizza. Give us pizza. We will have pizza.
Pea sandwiches appear on all the desks. The kids cackle into light and eat their pea sandwiches. The teacher is hit by a wrecking ball that breaks through the wall. Two of the kids high five. One final shot of beautiful food footage. VO. Pete sandwich. Available in the frozen section. Get it today.
Pretty awesome.
Act
so
2.
happy.
Act 2. So, friends. In the meantime, Vale, you probably think it is necessary to go and check in on Senex. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, absolutely. And just so you know, I have informed the captain. Just protocol.
Oh yeah, the captain. Will if you told, well, there was some scene where you told Maxwell. She says, "Of course, I honestly, I'm a little upset that he even attempted a mind meld with someone who we know is a telepathic savant. That seems like a reckless thing for a Vulcan to do."
Well, he had the best of intentions in mind, and now he needs to rest. But I'll go check on him,
Okay.
and I will.
You get to Senec's room. You buzz the door. You hear a voice saying, "Oh, just one moment." And then Senec sort of says, "Come."
Hi, Senec. I'm just checking in, making sure everything's okay. How are you doing?
Counselor, I'm still feeling a bit out of sorts. I'm worried that there may be lingering effects from the mind meld. I've never
Yes,
experienced such a powerful telepath before.
Yes, well, from what I can surmise from what I've read about mind melds, it can often be disorienting, even if it's not a telepathic savant. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Are you experiencing any current disorientation, any strong emotions that we should address? I'd like to process anything you need.
Yes, I'm still having thoughts from Bonaventura. Memories that I don't even remember from the mind meld. I'm worried that she's left a lingering imprint on me. I'm worried that she might be able to exert some kind of influence over me even now. I fear that I may need to take a leave of absence from Starfleet.
Well, I think that if you feel that you need to take more time, that might be the right thing to do. You know, of course, you can stay on the ship. I'm here whenever you need me. My door is always open. The holodeck is always on.
I do appreciate that, Counselor, and I would like to speak with you some more. However, do you think that the captain would clear me to use the grace note, or the footnote, one of the shuttles? And she'd allow me to take that on a brief sabbatical.
I think that would depend on what your intentions would be. Is that something that you can share?
Of course, I simply wish to meditate.
And did you have a specific destination in mind, or just wanted to go into the endlessness of space, so to speak?
Not the endlessness of space, Counselor. Specifically, I'd like to go to one of the Vulcan colonies. There are certain pilgrimage sites where perhaps I could focus my mental energies.
Well, I can definitely talk to the captain and see if we can get clearance for that. In the meantime, why don't you rest a little more, and I'll check in a bit, okay?
Thank you, Counselor.
Can I do, like, a psychology roll?
You absolutely may. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This one is contested.
Okay.
And, my friend,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are out of momentum. So, I cannot
Why ever is that?
I cannot...
Why did that happen?
I mean, yeah, but he would have been in worse shape if he hadn't. So it's like he's Senec seeing the lines. He wouldn't have otherwise. He would have gotten caught in another loop. He probably would have mind melded with someone else. He would have mind melded with one of the fakes, and then he would have done infinite recursions. Yes, Quincy. You do not know the degree of success you will need for this, because it's going to be contested. Okay. And if you want to buy yourself some momentum, you are welcome to do so. But you have to spend threat. You have to add to the threat pool to do it.
I'll do it.
Okay. So I add 2 to threat. You now have 2 here. In your thing, you can spend one of these right now.
I would like to.
This is going to be an insight medicine, so it's a 15. I guess we can say that it's psychology, so you get to roll 3 dice. I also did notice that you have something called constantly watching. And this is, whether or not you really realize it, this is a task to detect danger or hidden enemies. So your difficulty is going to go down by 1. So you have an edge in difficulty here.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I will
make your roll, and I shall make one for a bad guy.
Okay. Oh, a 10, a 16, and a 20.
A 20!
Yes.
Beautiful. A 10 is 16, so that is 1 success,
Okay.
2 failures. But it's going to count as it's going to count as 2 successes. It's 1 success, 2 failures, and one of them is a complication.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Tight. So, Vale, you strongly believe. You can tell Senec is deeply out of sorts, but you actually do think that Senec getting off this ship, getting away from this strange environment with all the stuff here, you really think that Senec should leave and should go on this sabbatical. Like this is your professional opinion is this is what's good for him.
Okay, do I think he should go alone? Or is that something I get to decide?
Like, you don't think you should go with him. You have many duties around the ship, obviously. If you thought someone could go with him, you could, you can go suggest that to the captain. We'll cut to you talking to the captain and Whitney, in fact.
Okay.
Okay.
So I do think it would be best for Senec to be able to go to the Vulcan colony to be able to meditate. I do, however, think he, due to the mind meld, may be compromised in some way emotionally, so I would like somebody to go with him in order to support him on his journey. The meditations for Vulcans can get very intense and very draining, so I just want to make sure that on his way back he's taken care of, he doesn't have to stress, and he's able to come resume his duties when he is ready and able.
I don't think we should let him have a shuttle. There's a lot of people coming on and off the ship right now. The captain says, Lieutenant Commander Senec is a very valued member of our crew. If this is your medical opinion, counselor,
Yes.
then I think we should do it. Do you think he'll be capable of? Do you think he'll be capable of piloting a shuttle? Do we need to send someone who also has piloting experience, or can it just be anyone who'd be a friend of his?
I think it would be wise if they did have piloting capabilities, just in case.
I was going to recommend.
He's gone through a significant trauma, mind melding with someone.
I was going to recommend.
those-
I was going to recommend Grimm, because I know they've kind of had an odd friendship develop, but Grimm does not know how to operate a vessel, so we can just send one of the ensigns, another shuttle pilot. You hear Whitney just like, but Maxwell's like, I think in that case, I'm sure there are some ensigns who he's taken under his wing, or to whatever degree.
Okay. In my studies, I did become familiar with Vulcan psychology and things like that. However, I do just want to make sure that we keep an eye on the ship and keep an eye on Senec, just to make sure. Mind melds are a very complex thing psychologically, so I just want to make sure he's monitored and taken care of, and that we are able to assist if needed.
I totally agree. Yeah, we'll send we'll send an ensign with him, I suppose. Unless you think it would be okay to just send him and Grimm. I don't want to send more personnel than that.
Maybe having a friend would be good.
Whitney says, I'd rather not lose 2 pilots. And she says, I would hate for something to happen in the ship and them not be able to pilot. Honestly, wait, she's the captain. She will make this decision. Actually, no, she'll kick this one last question to you. Counselor, how bad do you think it is? Do you think it's possible,
It's
based on what he's described, that he might lose the ability to properly pilot himself?
It's significant. However,
All right.
I think Senec innately understands piloting and can. And if he has to stay on the Vulcan colony for a little longer, I'm sure we can make those arrangements.
Very well. Guys, I'm gonna have her do an insight roll here real quick, because this is trouble. Okay. Ha!
At least y'all know I'm not metagaming, because
She says, I do think that it would be very helpful to have someone familiar like Grim with them, but I just... As much as I think that Commodore Winter was a little paranoid about certain things, I think he might have been correct that we need to keep a close watch on Grim. I'll have him go with an ensign.
very well.
So, meanwhile, Simon Giles, you are presenting your hologram to Kishia, who's looking it over.
Ooh, this is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's engineering. I mean, if this doesn't impress him, then I don't know what will.
I wanted to say, by the way, I'm worried that I might have, was I really making things bad for you with Counselor Vale? Do you guys have like a weird biological sex history or something?
No. The counselor, she's a colleague. She's a coworker. I mean, I would never do anything like that. You know, it's like oil and water. Like we don't.
To be honest with you, if I can speak frankly to you, Commander, I feel like my program is a little incomplete when it comes to some of these idiosyncrasies of how people behave, which isn't great on account of I'm in hospitality.
Yeah, I mean, if you want advice on love, you probably shouldn't be asking me. I mean, I have pretty poor luck when it comes to this territory.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't have any questions about love because I'm a hologram, but she kind of looks around and then goes, rumor has it that one of the holograms actually, one of us has some like love programming in us or something. I don't know who though.
I mean, really? Like, oh, yeah.
No, not like for biological sex weirdness. I'm not talking about that. This isn't some Ferengi sex program. I'm saying that one of us was programmed with like a romantic side, and I know it's not me.
Oh, I mean,
I'm a romantic asexual, which is great because I can just focus on events. But I hear one of us is actually like is in love a lot of the time, like has been programmed with it. I don't know. I've looked at our code a little bit here and there.
do you know who it is? You don't know who? I mean, you said you looked at her code, so it's a.
No, I looked at our
Female?
code.
Oh,
But I think that I'm worried about them falling in love with someone. In any case, enough talk about love and biological sex nonsense. I was gonna say, you seem as a token of my appreciation, as an apology for making things awkward. I did book you an appointment with our holographic goblin masseuse.
oh, thanks. I'll take a. I gotta take a rain check on that one. I gotta go realign the
Are you sure?
core.
Wait, I mean, Dunsta is very good, and she hits a button, and suddenly the goblin Dunsta shows up,
and she says, she's there, like, just like, she's got like a little belt with lots of oils. She has very big hands, and she says, "Nah, what is going on?" She says, "Dunster, this is Commander Giles. I've booked him for a session with you." "Okay. Do you want me to give you a massage?"
You know what? Where do I check in?
Right this way, and she will check you in. I'm
so happy.
So as you check in, as Dunster checks you in, you know what? I'm actually gonna go have her do a massage on you real quick. 3 successes.
Giles is so relaxed now.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna roll over one of the excess into your
He's
momentum.
a changed man.
Yes.
As what she does is she says, "Okay, time to massage," and then she takes these like scaly goblin hands and starts just like cracking your back in all sorts of places. She climbs on top of you and starts like playing your butt like the bongos for part of it. Because that's how Dunstan does it. Any case, as she gives you a massage, and at the end of it, you actually do feel really good.
Oh, Dunstan, that was rejuvenating. Like, wow, you've got some talent.
Thank you.
But I gotta go. Computer and program.
Oh, okay. Come check in again. She'll disappear. As Dunsta gives you a serious massage where she's like, just like your entire body's just been sort of stretched out. We're going to go back to Senek aboard the landfall. As Paulson will say, This is all right. I remember all of this. This is my most important memory. This is the best moment of my life. Yes, this is what I remember best. Does this seem cleaner to you? Does this seem better?
How does it seem?
Senek, make another. I think we did reason and insight. Is that correct?
We reason and command, right?
Reason and command. Yeah. Was this reason and command? Go for it. Oh yeah, command is. Oh yeah, reason and insight are next to each other. Blah blah blah.
8 and 3. So 2
8
successes.
and 3. So that is an extra success. Do you want to roll it over, or do you want to spend it now? I haven't been doing this as formally as it is, but there's something called obtain information, where you can expend a momentum and basically just ask me a question to sort of get the to get the information, to get the answer as sort of clearly as possible.
I mean, I don't know what question to ask.
Fair enough. Then we'll bank it, and I'll simply tell you.
Yeah.
As you look around, though it seems cleaner, you can tell that some of the people here are reused people from the other places. And I'm going to say with 1 success, you are strongly beginning to suspect that this mind meld, though incredibly sort of complex and full of memories and spaces, this is not real. This is not a fractured memory. This is a whole-scale reproduction of a brain. You are now strongly under the impression that Paulson never existed.
Okay. So in that case, if I am not trapped, if he is not a person, and there's some kind of simulation.
Yeah.
I guess you can't leave the Matrix until you know you're in the Matrix. So I start trying to see if they're like checking my own mind and see if there are other ways I can try and pull myself out.
You can easily end this mind meld if you want. And now knowing that
yeah.
you're mind melding with no one, if you want to, he'll say, please, like, you've got to help me. My brain is so broken. Please help me.
Because I saw him, I mind melded with him outside, right? Like, so like,
Yeah.
so he'll still be there.
As far as you know, he'll still be there.
I'll say Admiral, I believe I have obtained all the information that I possibly can in your mind. I will now leave and I'll see you on the outside.
All right, so you break the mind meld, and you find yourself for a moment with Paulson aboard the bridge of like a ruined USS Landfall. But as you sort of back away, Paulson like looks at you, and you hear Bonaventura's voice saying, "Saw through that one, huh? Not bad. Not bad at all." And suddenly, he turns away, that goes off, and you find yourself back alone in that white void once again.
Can I...
You can do whatever you want right after
Uh-huh.
this act break. We see in black and white a bunch of silhouettes of a couple exchanging loving glances over romantic scenes like parks and places.
Some men know the way to a woman's heart.
Okay, Lauren and Zane exchange loving glances and act like you're like touching each other and your silhouettes, but the diamond is real. We see more romantic silhouettes.
It isn't roses.
Romantic silhouettes over roses.
Or chocolates.
Romantic silhouettes over chocolates.
Or even diamonds.
Romantic silhouettes over diamonds.
This Valentine's Day, get her what she really craves.
The romantic silhouettes pull out a pair of keys, reveal the silhouettes are now being projected onto a 1995 Woodsdale Elegance luxury sedan.
Get her a Woodsdale Elegance. It's a car. Doesn't she deserve a car? Of course she does. Can't afford a car? Then you deserve to lose her, you poor jerk.
The romantic silhouettes embrace as the classical music swells. Act 3. So, those Woodsdale Elegance commercials, those were not messing around. I don't know if you guys remember those commercials. They were very mean. They were really like to insult the poor. All right, so Senek,
Yes.
you're back.
Can I tell if like I have no awareness of my actual physical form outside of this experience whatsoever?
You can try to assert control if you'd like, but at this point you don't. Although, what do you want to do? If you want to simply assert control, you could also speak. It seems like she's aware of your presence.
Oh, well, I'm going to speak, but I just want to see like if I can like kind of like feel my like it's like it's like when like you close your eyes, you can feel that your feet are there if you're not moving them. I just want to feel if I'm there.
All right, let's do in that case. I think that is it is insight medicine.
Insight and medicine. Well, sometimes you just don't get a roll that you're good at.
I do have 2 here if you want to take one.
That's that was a 12 and a 1.
Ooh. So a 12 is not a success, but a 1 is 2 successes.
Yeah.
So with
spending both of them.
You're spending both of them to sort of enhance the degree. So in that case, I will say that Senek, you kind of like open your eyes and you find yourself so you find yourself aboard Even's footnote, odds ender. You find yourself aboard the footnote. Next to you is Ensign
Rowe.
Sadly, it's not Ensign Rowe. But it does start with an R. So we will say
Ensign.
We'll say Ensign Ray, so it's like Ensign Rowe plus Star Wars. So you're with Ensign Georgia Ray? Is Georgia Ray someone? Wait, is that okay? Can I say that? I'm saying that. Ray Charles, Georgia on my mind. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. So basically, you glance around. You're not in control, but you look for a moment, and you see that you are sitting next to Ensign Georgia Ray on the vessel. You're traveling in warp. The ensign is kind of giving you shifty looks for a moment.
Ensign, where are we?
Bonaventura's voice says, I do the talking still.
Oh, so I'm aware. Okay.
Way to get around. Way to get yourself a better view.
So I try and just lift my hand, lift my hand, kind of squeeze my hand. So kind of flex my fingers a little bit.
I know this is worse. You do have these to spend. I need you to make a daring medicine as you're going against her.
Let's do it, the baby.
Spend anything?
Raw dogging it.
All right.
That's a 2 and a 3.
Okay. That's very good.
I'm sure she did better.
I rolled a 1 and a 7 for her.
Nice.
3 successes. I'm very sorry.
That's okay.
But I will say that you begin to move the hand, and the hand slams back down. And the ensign looks over, and you hear your voice saying, "Apologies." And the ensign kind of, and she says, "Oh dear, Commander. I wouldn't do that again. You're not the one who'll pay."
So have you partitioned part of your consciousness into my mind as well as your own? Or are you controlling me remotely?
Oof. Isn't it so cool that either of those is a possibility? That I'm that good?
Well, I would imagine that you are not that good. It is what's the name of the aliens that we
Lompavir.
It is the Lompavir that are that good, and you are merely a pawn.
That's such a Federation way of looking at it. Assuming that that's the way that power has to operate. Since in our hierarchical system, that's how it works. No, I'm not a pawn. I'm flying on my own here. And if you are willing to have an open mind, we could stop fighting and you could come see who they are and what it is we're doing.
Given that you have murdered many of my former crew members, I do not think that is something I will agree to willingly. And I am not going based on some notion of Federation hierarchy. I am basing this knowledge on simple human biology.
Well,
Many of you do not know how your own body works.
fair enough. I guess we'll have to be enemies, but I can't have you getting too good a peek anymore, and with that you find yourself back in the White Void. For now. But, Senek, you have learned something important, which is that you are capable of breaking out.
Yes.
So, now it's just about focus and time.
Right. Yes.
Meanwhile, Vale and Giles, let's say that you guys are checking out the You are checking out the projection now at its full thing. You're about to receive guests. The projection of the warp core.
Okay, I think it's as accurate as we can get. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, control the ship from here. I think they'll like it. I just hope they don't break anything.
Well, luckily in here, totally safe environment, so I think it'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I show you the programming I did on the warp core?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it looks exactly like it does down in engineering.
Yeah. And I'll go like walk next to him.
Okay. So Giles, just to be clear, are you just kind of showing her stuff? Are you trying something here, buddy? What's going on with Giles?
Giles is having a little bit of a moment. He's really enjoying this this little bit of a connection that he's having. Working together on something that's near and dear to him, with someone else, especially a woman.
Yeah, I get it. It's really cool, Giles, how, all it takes is just like a little bit of closeness and a little bit of, just like basic human decency on her part for you to realize that this is the one you've been looking for all along. Counselor Quincy Vale.
Yes.
I mean, you're good at it. I think this will be an insight. I think this is insight and command, but for you it's the same. So make an insight command roll.
Okay. That is a 9 and a 2.
Okay. I'm also going to say this. I'm going to give you a freebie of your joined ability, which is that.
Okay.
We'll just say that you also had experience. This was a focus for you because of basically having lived as many lives as the Veil symbiont has lived.
Yes.
You know when someone is like all about what you're putting out there, and you can feel that Giles is like, this is going so well. I bet we'll tell our grandkids about this someday.
Oh boy. Okay. And he's only said what he said. He's not being outwardly crazy. But he has been in my holodeck for therapy, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, just checking.
He's been to holodecks for therapy, and apparently he's now had a massage therapist, come holodeck the hell out of him.
Okay.
I mean, you can feel the harmonic resonance from here, can't you? I mean, it's
Yeah. I can. In my holodecks that I use for therapy, I don't know if you ever noticed, but my office is actually a holodeck. I make it seem as real as possible. But next time you're in, we can definitely create a place that you might be more comfortable in. If there's something else.
something else?
Oh, no. For our appointments as therapist and patient, this is something I can do for you as well. So if you'd feel more comfortable in another environment with me as your therapist and you as my patient, we can do that in my holodeck office as well.
You do that for me, counselor?
Oh, of course. I do that for all of my patients. All of my patients.
Oh,
you guys both hear kind of a minor holographic gasp, which really is bad programming because they don't have to breathe. But basically, Kishia and Dunsta are both like watching this.
Oh no.
And just with like, and you kind of, Kishia's like, oh, sorry, we were just checking, and Dunstan saying, "Oop, a check-in, check-in, check-in. Oh, okay." And Kithy's like, sorry, we weren't watching we weren't just sitting here listening to you guys. Somehow the second one being more awkward than the first. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh boy. And then they walk away. And I'll just say the two of you do hear as they walk away, Dunstan saying, "Yeah, we're right. These biologicals are obsessed with sex, but very weird about it." And she says, "Oh, believe me, I know. This is gonna get a lot of getting used to."
Simon, I think we make a great team, and I'm really happy about what we created here.
Yeah, me too, Counselor. I was just thinking the same thing. It's really all about the teamwork and how we work together as co-workers to make this ship function. I think I gotta go unplug the plasma drains now.
Okay.
Great teamwork, Counselor.
Yeah. It does look really great. And I think everyone's going to love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, on that beat, let's take another act break. This is a commercial. Open on living room, where a couple are incredibly hot because the air conditioner is out.
Haven't you called anyone about getting that air conditioning fixed?
I called Mr. Frozen Air Repair. They'll be here soon.
Why are you lying to me?
Excuse me?
Are you lying? You do this all the time. You must be lying.
How dare you?
You lying snake. You lied about where you were the night of my sister's wedding.
I had a flat tire.
You lied about how hot your new secretary is.
No, I didn't. I just didn't mention it.
And now you're lying about calling to fix the air conditioner.
Ding dong. Door opens to reveal Mr. Frozen Air Repair.
Mr. Frozen Air Repair, here to fix your AC.
You were saying?
I'm sorry. The heat was getting to me.
And speaking of lying, who's Junior's real father?
Probably you.
Mr. Frozen looks at camera.
Don't get into a hot situation. Call Mr. Frozen today.
Oh, wow.
Act
boy.
4. Woo! This is a good one, right?
That was excellent.
Thanks.
That was drama.
Do you guys know the commercial that's referencing? The Sears,
The Sears air conditioning,
You'll
yeah.
call now. I'll call now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anywho, Mr. Senek, you're in the white void. You know
Yeah.
that she's planning something. You know that she has you she has your body in a shuttle with just Ensign Georgia Ray.
I want to I'm just gonna sit and meditate, and in the way that I'm trying to feel out the edges of this cage.
I love it. All right. You want to use one of these? Difficulty of this will be 2.
I will not raw dog this one. I will use momentum.
All right, spend a momentum. Difficulty is 2. But
Okay. Whatever. Yep.
this is going to be, I'm going to let you do command, and we're going to make this metaphysics. This will be command, insight, metaphysics. You've got 3. So 13 or lower is a success, and 4 or lower is 2 successes. You get to roll 3 dice. Make it happen. You need 2. Come on.
That's a 6, an 8, and 11.
That's
So-
3 successes.
Yeah.
With 3 successes, do you want to expend this last one or push it?
I'm leaving it on. I'm using it. Using it all.
I think that makes sense. All right, so Lieutenant Commander Senek, as you sort of push through here, as you sort of think about the edges of this, you understand that you can exert a certain amount of control over your body. You can exert a certain amount of awareness. You also know, I'm gonna give you a bit of, I'm gonna say your extra one that you're spending is kind of like a bit of like a logic leap you're doing here. She was in a ship with a shuttle pilot with you.
Yes.
So the fact that she took some ensign, she obviously talked her way off the vessel or stole it, whatever it is,
Yes.
but she can't fly like you can. She doesn't have your ability at the controls. I mean,
Right.
She needed someone to pilot her. She can probably like handle a shuttle, but she
Right.
thinks she's going somewhere crazy. So, with that, you now know what you can do that she can't do, and that is, you're going to actually be able to use the con. You can attempt with your hand without even looking. You remember where you were sitting. You can basically just by touch, by feel, you can start trying to like send a message or a code or take control of the ship. You can try to do something without even you can attempt to exert some outward stuff, but you're realizing that you could control that hand. You could probably do that very subtly. You could maybe send a message to the Noteworthy, or you could try to like shut the ship down. Depending on what you try, it might be more
my
difficult.
first thought was like, can I like shut the like lock down the vessel to respond to like my command code? Because she doesn't know. I don't know if she knows that or not. Never mind.
You don't know if she knows your command code. I will say that would be very hard to do without verbally saying your command code, but I will say that it is possible. Difficulty would be 3.
Okay.
I'll phrase it like this. Difficulty, I'm going to say, because she's distracted, since you've had this insight, difficulty 1 is sending a message to the Noteworthy. Difficulty 2 is trying to shut down key systems for a moment. Difficulty 3 is shutting the ship down until you get it back. That's a much harder one. But
yeah, I'm just gonna try and send the message.
just the message. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so this, sir, is control and con. It's only difficulty 1 for you to do this. Do you want to spend the remaining momentum to get this?
Raw dogging it.
Understood. I will, however, say before you roll, I'm increasing the complication range on this because of, the possibility that she overwhelms it. So we're going to increase it by 2. On an 18 or higher, there is a complication.
Hell yeah. So it's a control and con, you said?
Control con.
It's 15 and 15, so 2 successes.
You want to bank one, or you want to roll one over and be more subtle with it as this happens?
I'll bank one.
Bank one. Okay, cool.
And the message I just want to send, the message I was sending, just 2 words. Senek compromised.
All right. You're able to do that without issue. So, Vale, we will say that you are on the. We'll say that you are with the captain and Giles as various diplomats are walking across. As we zoom into. So you're with a bunch of diplomats. They're coming in, but the captain receives an alert from Commander Whitney on the bridge. Says, Captain, just got a message from the footnote. All right, is Commander Senek all right? Not really sure what to do about it, but something's wrong. Message says Senek compromised.
Would I know anything about somebody being mentally compromised because of a Vulcan mind meld?
You have information on such subjects. I'm gonna let this one be a xenobiology. So do a medicine and reason. 14, but a 4 or lower. is 2 successes. You do need 2 successes for this though. If you want to, you can spend a momentum.
No, that's okay. No, I'm sorry, a 12 and a 15.
It's only 1 success. So you don't know for sure, but you're worried. You think it must have been due to the mind meld, but you haven't like.
Okay, I
fully put the
can't
pieces,
definitively say. And I will convey that. I'm not entirely sure if it has to do with the mind meld itself, but I think we should get him back in, and we should definitely proceed with caution.
All right. Commander, please send a reply to. Go ahead and send a reply to the footnote. Ask them to return to the vessel. Tell them they're needed back here. Understood. He sort of stays in the comm. Giles, you're hearing all this too, and he says, "No reply. Not answering hails."
How far away are they?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about a tractor beam.
A tractor beam, your ship is faster than their ship. So Giles, you could get to them in like 10 minutes if you had to. But they're at the, we'll say that they're at the very edge of your long range sensors right now.
Captain, we can get to them in 10 minutes if we need to. I mean, if he's not responding, he could be in danger.
We're in the middle of onboarding all these people, but something about this doesn't seem right. Nothing seemed right since we picked up that Bonaventura woman.
I agree. But at least they'll get a chance to see how fast the ship is.
All right. That's true. All right. All hands, please suspend all boarding immediately. The ship is going to warp. Commander Whitney, pursue the footnote. Maximum warp. Understood.
You heard the captain.
You know, as it comes off.
Unfurl all sails.
Unfurl that bloody sails.
So the ship is sort of racing after the footnote, suspending all passengers being brought on board. At this time, so here's an interesting thing. Senek, go ahead and roll for me. I'm gonna have it be, yeah, okay. Roll another, what have we been doing? Insight medicine?
Yeah.
Just give me an insight medicine.
5 and 7.
2 successes. All right, so I'm going to say that if after having done this, if after a few moments you can peek in successfully, you're not going to be in any control. But you're from the void, you kind of like reach back out trying to look through your own eyes again. And you see yourself kind of glancing over at Ensign Georgia Ray, and she's like, Commander, are you blocking comms? It seems like the footnote is being hailed by the Noteworthy. Are we? I think they're setting it a pursuit course. Should we stop? And you hear yourself saying, "No, we need to maintain maximum warp."
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does the ensign have a phaser on her?
Yes.
I want to try and... I assume the phasers are normally set to stun, right?
Federation phasers are stored at stun. That is correct.
I want to try and exert a moment of control, grab the phaser, and stun myself.
And stun yourself. Okay,
Yes.
interesting. All right. So Senek, you have this much. This is going to be a contested situation. You could spend
Well, I can
one
only-
of these.
Yeah, I'll spend 1.
All right. It's the same roll. It's the same medicine plus insight. Might spend a little threat here, just to goose the old shenanigans. Make your roll.
223.
223. I rolled 20, 18, 17, 17, 11. I don't know how complications work for the bad guys.
We get a feller momentum, right?
In fact, here's what we'll do. So you have 2 successes. I'm just gonna say
3 successes.
3 successes. You're just gonna spend them all for this move. Except the only thing that sucks is this is happening as you know what? Damn it. Retroactive act break.
Okay.
We're gonna have this happen at the beginning of Act 5, so it's cool. So sorry about the lack of drama. I know that as you watch this next ad, you guys are gonna be like, but we know what's gonna happen. And I get that that's not as much fun. But
act break.
We will act break. All right. So with that, basically it'll end with you sort of standing up aggressively, and like reaching for the phaser as you're basically reaching for Georgia Ray. As Georgia Ray's like, Georgia Ray, kind of attacking Georgia Ray, basically. Cool. Okay. I have so many windows open right now, you guys. Apologies. And act.
They can still hear you.
They could still hear me there? Sorry, I was just testing a thing. Could you guys hear what we were saying a second ago? I don't think so. It's on a song is playing there. Okay, so with that, yeah, I think they were saying I see something. They were talking about the game. They were saying they see what rules we're using.
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren was all worried that you were hearing which ad we were about to do. It would be ruined if you guys knew we were doing ad 2.
Lauren was like, how dare they get a peek behind the curtain?
All right. So, does everybody remember who they're playing in ad 2?
Yeah, I'm playing no one.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. All right. So, ad 2. We're in a drugstore. A woman is trying to find a shampoo.
Down here.
Who said that?
It's me, Sultry Meadows Shampoo. You look bad, but if you wear me, you'll look better.
That's rude.
It's not rude. If it's true, men aren't trying to date you, are they?
Well,
That's because you look really bad and terrible. But look at her.
Camera pans over to see a woman in the drugstore being approached by like 20 guys. It's overwhelming.
wow.
She's wearing Sultry Meadows shampoo. What are you waiting for? You look bad.
The woman grabs a bottle.
I figured out what
Ads are
happened.
good, right? Sorry, you figured out what happened?
Sophie,
No, we're
Fine, you
on,
can
but
just say what happened.
explain
You're
it.
fine.
oh, she was hearing it through TikTok. And she forgot which one she was listening to.
Also, Philip, people don't wear shampoo.
Yeah, that's why I got stumbled. That's why I stumbled.
Yeah, you don't.
Sultry
But I
Meadows
do.
shampoo.
I look at that hair. You ain't wearing no shampoo either,
This
bro.
is-
How do you think?
This
how do you
isn't just
think
shampoo
hair
you
stands
use.
So high?
This is
Yeah.
shampoo you wear. Anyway, that's Sultry Meadows. Act 5. Hi, everybody.
Woo.
Oh, Sultry Meadows. These ads are good. They really make me want to buy products. So, with Act 5 beginning, Senec, remember this dramatic thing that was happening? Oh my god.
It's now happening for real.
It's not happening for real. So basically, Senec, because of the 20 and the complication and everything, basically, you feel your body already lunges up toward the ensign. And you feel your right hand going in for a Vulcan nerve pinch on the ensign. But your left hand snatches the ensign's phaser and stuns yourself and falls down. So basically,
That's all I know.
and then kind of you for a moment you feel yourself back in the white void, but then it all goes dark.
Sick.
So basically, the ship. So Vale and Giles, you guys are on the bridge. At this point, you guys, the captain says, "There they are, tractor beam." Giles, could you go ahead and engage a tractor beam for us? I know there are rules for this. My apologies, Kern. I can't look them up now. For now, we'll just do control engineering 14. I know there are official rules, but...
Oh, I hit a 13. A 13 is 17, so I did a 13.
With one success, the ship is not trying to evade, so you're able to lock onto the thing, and suddenly you guys hear, this is Ensign Georgia Ray. Lieutenant Commander Senek just attacked me, and then grabbed my phaser and stunned himself. And the captain says, "Beam Lieutenant Commander Senek to sickbay and put a containment field around him." Vale, Tato, we're coming there. She kind of says,
Yes.
"Commander, you have the con, I suppose. Take us back to where the ships are waiting for this conference." So Vale, Vale, you and Tata and the captain are now down here, and Senek is unconscious, on a bed within a containment field. Vale, go ahead.
Are there any scans on his brain that we can do that would be able to assess for another consciousness or anything?
I'll say that Tata, you could have Tata roll such a thing. Roll it on Tata's behalf, in fact.
I haven't been rolling well.
Well, then that'll be more fun for me. Roll. You are trying to hit. This does not go to any of her specifics, but she's damn good at medicine, and you're trying to hit a Jesus. You're trying to hit a. Just try to under a 17.
Okay.
Roll 2d20s. Just try to get at least one of them under 17.
2 9s.
2 9s, 2 successes. Do you want to use them both, or shall we bank one?
No, I'm going to use them both.
Okay, cool. So basically, she does a scan and says, "There is another presence in the brain. There's 2 brain patterns." Senek, at this time, you find yourself in a gray void. On the edge of sort of liminal consciousness. You also
Hello?
see, kind of sitting up, kind of across the void from you, is Bonaventura. She says, "I gotta tell ya, didn't expect the stunning yourself. I didn't expect you grabbing her phaser when we had our own. That was impressive. Well done. You prevented me from delivering more data aboard the vessel, but I still remember what I remember. It's been fun being in your body, Lieutenant Commander. But I hereby relinquish you."
Please do not return.
No promises. She disappears. Return. No promises. Cool. With that, in sickbay, you see one of the brain scans disappears.
Tata, can we determine whether or not that was Senek's or the intruders?
damn it, I'm a doctor, not a person who knows the difference between different kind of brain patterns. However, because this is so mentally focused, I'm going to allow you to make this roll, and I'm going to allow you to use the xenobiology roll. So this will be medicine and reason for you. 14,
Okay.
4 or lower gets you 2. The difficulty of this will be 2. You want to spend 1?
I would, yes.
You roll 3 dice. You need 2 successes.
Okay, below, it doesn't matter. Don't
Below
tell me.
14, but 4 or lower will be, yeah.
A 14, a 13, and an 8. Are 13s counting tonight?
They should be, but I forgot. I think we
I don't
only
think
did
they
it for
did.
Halloween. That's 3 successes. Do you want to bank the last one?
No.
Okay. Just put them all into this, and you are very confident that this brainwave pattern is Vulcan, not human, or even human telepath. You can basically, you're confident that it's Senek.
Okay, never mind, Tata. I think that is Senek. But we should keep him behind a barrier just in case. Can we rouse him?
Sure. She'll kind of hit a little button and like a little hole appears in the barrier and she just pulls back. Senek, you wake up.
Lieutenant Commander?
Counselor, I thank you for helping me get back to the ship.
Do you want to let us know what happened? I'm trying to be very cautious.
Yes, I remember brief outside of the mental prison in which I was incarcerated. I remember only brief moments, but I spent
A mental
How m-
prison? What do you mean?
how many days passed since we saw Bonaventura?
It's been 4 days, Lieutenant Commander.
I only have the briefest of moments of awareness outside of some kind of... I was trapped inside my own mind. When I mind melded with Bonaventura aboard the shuttle.
That was an incredibly reckless thing for you to do, Commander.
This is Captain Maxwell there?
Yes, sorry. Yes, that's Maxwell.
I agree, Captain. I apologize for my rash actions.
Next time someone describes themselves as a telepathic savant, exercise a little more caution, please.
I believe that is a wise course of action, Captain.
Captain, if I may, of course, after Senek is taken care of and we do the appropriate assessments, I would like to speak in detail with Senek about this, because this is psychologically revolutionary in regard to Vulcan mind melds and telepaths. This is something that is incredibly valuable.
Yes, it's valuable, but not only for science's sake, Counselor. This ship has been at the center of a coordinated attack from these Lampavir. According to Senek, we've seen firsthand the telepathic abilities that they've granted to
They also
Bonaventura.
the admiral that everyone else saw that I was unable to see. I was able to discern while in there that he was some fabrication of consciousness that she was then projecting.
Just to keep you trapped.
I both hear, and then yes, to keep me trapped, but also previously before we had realized which side she was on, when she and the illusion of the admiral were on the ship. I had been trying to ascertain whether or not he was someone who had been abducted, or whether if he was simply a fabrication, and he was completely
The fact that
coated out of thin air, so to speak.
the fact that she can conjure such things, and I mean, do we understand is she dead? Has she been projecting this across light years? Do we know?
It is unclear.
We need to send word to Cold Station 12 and informed them of what's happened as well as the Starfleet Command. Yes, Counselor Vale, you should definitely engage in all manner of studies. Dr. Tata, please work with the Counselor for this sort of neuroscientific sort of understanding of what kind of telepathy is taking place. But I feel like this is just the start of something much bigger and more dangerous.
We'll try to be prepared for next time.
Good. All right. Well, let's go back about let's go back about our duties. Senek, please rest. We have a conference to oversee. As kind of on this dark moment as we'll sort of say she sort of walks back. Giles, you're showing off the warp core to people like it ain't no thing. There's plenty of more fish in the sea here. You know, the Dr. Brahmses are out there. You know, the Dr. Brahms equivalents. You know, your Counselor Vale, who is kind of, you know, in your mind at the time. You hear the captain coming up, sort of saying, "Apologies for the delay, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the conference. Oh, we're so glad you're finally able to make it on board." As Vale kind of maybe you detect a dark look on Vale's face, and Senek kind of in the sort of, as Dr. Tate is running a few more scans on you in the med bay, you feel sort of exhausted, but sort of back in your body, sort of comfortable for the first time. As you all gaze out the window at the stars, knowing that new threats await. That's where we'll end episode 1.12 of The Noteworthy. And it goes to a black screen for credits. But wait, do we do another ad?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, let's do.
As the credits roll, you know how like on old TV the credits would roll, but then like they'd get swished down to the side as an ad would play. It's usually a station bumper, but not this time. This time it's a teen stands on a street corner.
Death punch!
A bunch of other kids run up behind him wearing martial arts gear.
Death punch!
Then we have gameplay footage of Death Punch, the newest fighting game for all platforms.
Death punch!
Then the kid is leading all the other kids on a march through the park as they're doing karate moves. Everyone's doing Death Punch moves and they look cool as they go.
Death punch!
Death punch!
And then we see some awesome finishing moves from the game as one character Death Punches another character to death.
Death punch!
More gameplay footage.
Death punch!
The kids are now lined up outside a video game store next to a park. There's a ton of copies of Death Punch inside. The guy working at the store gulps because the kids seem cool but also dangerous. The kids make hardcore faces and don't smile because smiling is weak. Vio says, "Death Punch, the next level in fighting games. Available now."
I want Death Punch.
I want to play Death punch.
Yeah. Can we do a Death Punch Domain of Dread?
How do you know that?
That'd be a domain of.
90s,
That would be a
90s commercial Domain of Dread.
That would be a domain of delight. Does anybody know? That's a commercial that I actually, upon seeing, I don't think I've seen it since it was originally on when I was researching 90s commercials. That's based on the Mortal Kombat commercial where it's just kids in a city street going, "Mortal Kombat!" Oh my god. So, with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed tonight's game plus ads. We sure saw a lot of ads here tonight. We saw an ad for Death Punch, an ad for Sultry Meadows shampoo, an ad for a car, and if you're too poor for the car, then you don't deserve your wife. We saw...
You look bad.
We saw an ad for the Pete Sandwich, which I appreciated a lot. And we saw an ad for Tommy Knockers, which is a real classy thing. Oh my gosh, we really should do previews for the next week episode. I haven't thought of how to do that yet, so we will do that in a subsequent one, but I don't have that for now. But that's hilarious, and we definitely should do that. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, this was super fun. I'm so glad Senate got out. Well done.
Yeah.
Some good timing. Sorry, we had to split one of yours over an act break, but you got to do it sometimes. Sometimes you gotta have the act break happen at a moment of uncertainty. Yes.
I would like to thank a few people who came over from my TikTok. Thank you so much. Twagna. I don't know how you say your username, but thank you so much for coming over. They were in my live earlier when I was putting on my spots, and I was talking about this, and they came over. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We had 10 new followers this evening.
Oh my
actually.
gosh.
A lot of new followers, and we had a Lost Caravan RPG rated with a party of 18 viewers this evening.
Hello.
Super awesome. Thank you all for joining, all the new followers and new people jumping into chat. It's super fun to watch the chat popping off, and I know there's a lot of Trek lovers in here.
Yeah. And thank you to the other people who came over but who were quiet in the chat as well. Thank you guys so much. I don't want y'all to think I don't value you. Thank you.
I think everybody knows how much you value them.
You know what artist really liked Star Trek or would have liked Star Trek? Henry Toulouse La Star Trek.
I'm gonna go.
That's...
I just thought of that. It's so funny, I know.
Wow. Henri Toulouse La Star Trek. That's
That's a deep cut though. Like, I do respect that.
that's a deeply tortured joke, but I'll...
But
No, the reason why I like having such a broad, nothing deep, but a very vast base of knowledge is so I can make really, really dumb but obscure jokes.
I get it. Well,
Be a wonderful father.
Well, that was
yeah.
Well, that was delightful. And a dark ending. Thank you all so much. We will be back on Sunday with A More Wretched Hive, then on Monday with Civilized Age, then Tuesday with the premiere of sort of like Book 2, Chapter 2, whatever you want to call it, of Grey in the Dark, where they are venturing down to Thini, the Fairylands version of their black and white city. So a lot of fun stuff. And then 1 week from tonight, we will be back with Blood from a Stone, but we will see you for some more kind of irregular, unscheduled sort of spotlight episodes with just 1 or 2 players of this game whenever we can. And then on the whatever the first Friday of December, is it really about to be December? Is that what I'm being told?
don't remind me.
All right, well, we'll see everybody in December for the next with the full crew.
The next Star Trek game will be
December
Boxing
2nd.
Day is to Christmas as to what that day will be to my birthday.
Oh. So something that
Happy
we don't
early
know.
birthday.
So wait, we don't celebrate your birthday in America, is what you're telling me?
Yeah,
What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, on that
But
note,
tune into our other stuff because it's super fun.
we have
Even
fun
if you
stuff.
love Star Trek,
Yeah.
I do. But the other stuff is fun too.
It's very
And
fun.
we have a lot of weird characters.
Very fun other games. I guess I should mention for sci-fi people in general that A More Wretched Hive and Civilized Age are both Star Wars games. So yeah, so check that all out. Thank you all so much. This has been super fun. Go to our Discord to find out more about that stuff. Thanks everyone who joined and followed and all that stuff. We really appreciate you being here. We hope we see you again. Until next time, for to beam up.